Yesterday, we talked about this growing domestic terrorism appears to be coordinated against Teslas, Tesla cars, Tesla owners, Tesla chargers, Tesla dealerships. It's outrageous. It's atrocious. Anybody with a good conscience should look at this and condemn it without any hesitation. They should, but they're not. They're not. There are people who are excited about this. They think it's great. They're cheering it on. In some cases, they're encouraging it and egging it on. And they all have one thing in common. They're brain dead liberals. Just look at the audience on The Daily Show last night.
They're taking to the streets, the parking lots.
Tonight, the FBI and ATF now investigating multiple cases of possible arson targeting Teslas and Cybertrucks.
Molotov cocktails. It's the latest in more than a dozen instances of arson and vandalism targeting Tesla.
Tesla Cybertrucks were set on fire in Kansas City, and earlier this month, shots fired at a Tesla dealership in Oregon.
Wow, you guys like petty acts of domestic terrorism, huh?
That's funny, isn't it? What is wrong? I mean, first of all, this does answer the question that the barking seals in the audience at The Daily Show will literally laugh and applaud for anything, even arson and violence. But that might be taking things to a new low there at The Daily Show. This is disgusting. Attorney General Pam Bondi, she appeared on Fox and she called it out for what it is. But she's also actually going to be rounding up these terrorists and throwing the book at them. That's how you stop terrorism, by the way, is that you go after the terrorists.
I want to ask you about these attacks on Tesla taking place across the country. You've recently said that they are acts of domestic terrorism.
Yes.
Obviously, in bringing up the concept of domestic terrorism, I would think that opens up your department and the FBI into investigating who is funding these attacks. Are they organized? What can you tell us about all of this, which many are seeing on their screen right now at Tesla dealerships, and it's taking place all over the country?
These attacks are taking place throughout our country. We have charged multiple people. Get ready, more coming. One we charged in Oregon is facing 5 to 20 years in prison. We filed in Colorado. We filed in South Carolina. There are more coming. And yes, the funding is one thing we are looking at among many others. I was personally in a meeting about it this morning. We are coming after you. We believe these are organized. These are not individuals out there throughout the country doing this on their own. They're targeting Tesla owners. They're targeting Tesla dealerships. They're targeting Elon Musk, who is out there trying to save our country, and it will not be tolerated. We are coming after you. We will find you. And if you are an organized group who is funding this, we're going to find you too. You better look out and you better stop it.
And to be clear, you said you came out of a meeting this morning, at least to some extent, you are seeing some level of organization and behind the scenes funding that you can investigate and potentially prosecute?
That's everything that we're looking at. Yes, we're looking at all aspects of it. These are not isolated individual events.
Yeah, they're not. And this sort of thing doesn't just happen spontaneously all at the same time and across state lines. And it's all the same kind of attacks and the same kind of destruction and terrorism, obviously. And good for her, good for the Attorney General for saying, treating these people like the terrorists that they are. We're going to find you, we're going to come after you, and we're going to get you. This is terrorism. In fact, the domestic terrorism that we're seeing right now against Tesla and Tesla ownership and innocent Americans, it's not too different than radical Islamic terrorism, right? Why are these people doing this? What's motivating them to destroy people's lives, to destroy a company, to destroy these great machines, these Tesla cars? Well, it's because they're incapable of making something like this. They are losers. They are pathetic. They are impotent. They are absolutely, completely incapable of doing anything positive and constructive and good. And they have lost the election. They have lost the argument, and they continue to lose. So what do? They lash out. And the only thing they can resort to is violence. You know, you get into debate with somebody and they've run out of words because you've beaten them. What do? They punch you. That's what these people are doing. And it's not unlike Islamic terrorists. You know, look at them. They're out in the desert. They haven't been able to figure out in thousands of years how to make their own civilization. So what do? They lash out and try to destroy the people who have made a civilization. They go after Israel and Jewish people who have succeeded and know what they're doing, or Americans, right? It's the exact same mentality. And the Attorney General is right. You go after the funding. You go after the infrastructure. You also need to go after their leaders, right? When we went after radical Islamic terrorists, you figure out who's in charge of ISIS. Chop off their heads. You got to stop these structures from the top. Who's in charge? Who's inspiring them? Who's egging them on? So, Attorney General Bondi, I hope you're watching, because we've got some evidence here you might want to look at. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett participated in a mass video call for something called Tesla Takedown. This is scheduled for March 29th, where all across the country, they're going to take down Tesla, whatever that means. Let's check in with the Congresswoman.
Politicians. So I'll make sure that I keep it short, but I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes. Listen, I have learned as I serve on the DOJ Oversight Committee that there is only one language that the people that are in charge understand right now. And that language is money. And so I've been so proud to see us organize behind a cause.
Yeah, she wants to take Elon Musk down. That sounds kind of threaty, doesn't it? She's not the only one. Again, Attorney General Bondi, I hope you're looking. There's this guy called Rick Wilson. He's a media commentator. He's a very short man, and he's got this Napoleon complex, and he gets very angry a lot. He posted on his Substack, the Rick Wilson, because you don't want to confuse him with all those other Rick Wilsons. Kill Tesla, save the country. Elon has a weak spot, attack, with the image of a Cybertruck burning. By the way, do you recognize that Cybertruck? Do you recognize that image? That's not just any Tesla burning. It's in front of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. The guy who blew up a car bomb in front of the Trump Hotel and offed himself. Remember that story on New Year's Day, I think it was? Yeah, that's the imagery the Rick Wilson chose to use to highlight his story. Kill Tesla, save the country. Elon has a weak spot, attack. You know who this Rick Wilson guy is, right? He's this guy. He shows up on MSNBC all the time. They still book him there. And he says stuff like this.
And the donor class can't just sit back on the sidelines and say, oh, well, don't worry, this will all work itself out. They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump. And that's a fact.
Yeah, that's who Rick Wilson is. And yes, MSNBC still has him on. In fact, he said that in 2015, and they have him on a regular basis. If you're not happy about that, you might want to let the folks at Comcast and Universal know about it, because that's who they are. That's 100% who they are. So yesterday, after Mr. Wilson posted that article and promoted it on X, which again will never not be funny, that these people hate Elon Musk, calling for his destruction, calling for random acts of violence against Tesla owners, and against Elon Musk himself. And then they post all of that on Elon Musk's social media platform. That will never not be hilarious. But Rick Wilson won't be doing that anymore, at least not for a month, because when he posted "Kill Tesla, Save the Country," the X platform suspended his account, and rightly so. Obviously, this is not a free speech issue. This is literally calling for violence. Kevin O'Leary, he of Mr. Wonderful fame on Shark Tank, was on the CNN panel last night and addressed this head on.
I'm talking about Tim Walz and his comments about the Tesla stock. He says it gives him a boost to see that stock going down.
That poor guy didn't check his portfolio and his own pension plan for state. It's beyond stupid what he did. He's talking down a 3.5% weighting in his own pension plan. I mean, what's the matter with that guy? He doesn't check the well-being of his own constituents in the state.
I mean,
that's their investment fund.
Point,
what a bozo.
The Minnesota Tesla State Board of Investment. They have 1.6 million shares in Tesla in their retirement fund, 211,000 shares in a non-retirement fund. It's a relatively small amount, but that's one company, one single stock. And that's because Tesla is a huge part of the tech growth. But this is not the first time that companies have been in the crosshairs of protests. I mean, Republicans have protested companies all the time.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit, but I'm so sick of hearing this, it's a protest. This is not a protest. This is violence. This is arson. Oh, I'm sorry. Are they fiery but mostly peaceful car bombs that we're seeing now? Is that what this is all about? Are we doing Black Lives Matter all over again? And yes, O'Leary points out rightly that when Tim Walz is cheering on the precipitous drop of the stock, he's actually affecting his own, not only his state's pension plan, but his own personal pension plan. Because I don't know if you got the memo, but Tim Walz is a former teacher. And yes, the teachers union in Minnesota also has a ton of Tesla shares. So I guess when it comes to terrorists, you could call these guys suicide bombers, since they're more than willing to take themselves out while they try to target Tesla, and they're having a blast doing it. More from CNN.
I mean, is it okay for an American company to just be hated, for people to want it to not do well?
I think go back to point one. When you set a car on fire, you should go to jail. You're a criminal.
Any car,
I don't think we have to talk about it in any other context. Yeah. And all those cars have cameras in them, and those dealerships have cameras. You're beyond being stupid when you do that. You're going to go to jail, and you now have a government that just got their mandate. They can't wait to find idiots that do this. You're going to spend 5 to 20 years in prison. If they get them on terrorism, which I think is a stretch, they will have no parole, no shortened sentence. They'll rot in hell in prison for 20 years. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, that's okay. Breaking in, shooting a car, setting on fire, nothing to do with the politics, nothing to do with Tesla. You are a criminal, and you should go
what about the broader question about the protest factor? I mean, you heard
what protest?
I love that Abby Phillips continues to, but it's a protest. But it's a protest. It's not a protest. It's not a protest at all. And by the way, it's not lost on any of us that the vast majority of Tesla owners in America are liberals. Are people who bought those cars because they want to save the planet and they don't want any carbon emissions. By the way, full disclosure, I think I said it before, I own a Tesla. I didn't buy it because I wanted to save the planet. In fact, I feel so guilty that I'm not emitting carbon into the atmosphere that when I come home from my daily commute to work, I actually go into my backyard and I set an old tire on fire, spewing toxic black carbon smoke up into the atmosphere. That's my carbon offset, because I feel so bad about not burning any fossil fuels on my way in. I bought a Tesla because it's a great piece of engineering. It's a fun car to drive. And even better, it's a fun car to, well, drive me around because of its autopilot feature. So understand something. All of these attacks on Teslas are really attacks on themselves. Once again, suicide bombers, these terrorists. Listen, this isn't a violent protest, but this was caught on TikTok. This is, again, super brilliant. This is a person driving a pink Cybertruck. And this is what drivers do to them. Now, maybe it's me, but somebody who's driving around a pink Tesla, I'm guessing is a lib. Who else would buy a pink Tesla? And this person sitting at the red light just wants to randomly give this person the middle finger. Why? Because they drive a Tesla. This is where we are in America right now. And listen, Americans can do stupid things for stupid reason, and there's nothing stopping them. But when they cross the line into violence, when it's organized, when it's funded, when it's coordinated, when it's cheered on and laughed at, then we've got a serious problem. And we've got criminal behavior. And you know what happens to criminals, especially terrorists in this country? They get caught, and they get taken care of. So there's a lot of FAFO going around. They're faffing, and they're about to foe.